Welcome to Fudge Films presents the greatest podcast on Earth. Today's episode, an exciting start.
And congratulations. You're listening to the first episode of Fudge Films presents the greatest podcast on Earth. That's right. We saw everyone and their grandma had a podcast, and we figured, fuck it. We need one too, baby. We gotta rake in that podcast money. It's the third pillar of the Fudge Films pantheon. You got the skits, you got the streams, and now you got the podcasts. Clayton, go ahead and name off some other podcasts so we can call them out directly. Go ahead.
The one on like SoundCloud. You heard that one?
Yeah. You mean the Gopher Brothers podcast? Yeah, I heard that one.
I meant the other one.
Oh, you mean the Beaver Brothers podcast?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh.
Now we're on the same page.
Beaver Brothers, we're coming for you. We're going to climb up the podcastfreak.net leaderboards, and we're going to take you from the number 245th spot. We're going to claim that spot, finally. So get your arsenal ready. Take us down. Folks, this is our podcast. What can you expect, though, from a Fudge Films podcast? What separates a Fudge Films podcast from every other podcast out there? Well, first of all, we're not going to sit here every week and talk about what movies we saw and what games we played. None of that garbage. It's going to be a bi-weekly podcast. That's every other week. There's going to be burps on the podcast. They'd edit that out on a more professional show. I'm going to crank up the gain on it so you hear it clearly. The podcast can be anything. Maybe one week it's us being screaming into the microphone, making noises. Maybe the next week we're going to be reading from Shakespeare. Maybe the next week it's the longest, funniest comedy bit you've ever heard. And the podcast can also be nothing at all. Maybe one week it's just me sleeping. Maybe one week it's Clayton coughing. Who knows what it's going to be every other week? We barely even know. And that's what's exciting about it. We get to take this sucker off the road. We get to take Fudge Films comedy off the road and do whatever we want. Good, bad, doesn't matter as long as it's different. Yeah.
The fun thing, so this is a whole new format we're trying out. The fun thing about this format is that, usually, like, when we're on stream or whatever, Mike has to do a better job of, like, hiding his threats to keep me here.
Yeah.
Now, he doesn't. You can't see anything. You can't see the gun or the multiple knives on the wall behind me that he hides when we're on camera.
You can't see the fact that I got the door locked. There's no way for Clayton to get out of here until we hit a point of perfection and quality that I enjoy. So y'all better like the podcast. Y'all better laugh, or Clayton's gonna get it.
I never agreed to come on to the podcast. He locked the we started, and there was no stopping.
I called Clayton. I said, come over, Clayton. I got some Nightcore Ant remixes I want to show you. And Clayton it's the fastest I've ever seen him show up for anything. And the moment he stepped foot in this room, I lock the door, baby. I'm cunning. I'm mischievous. But that's why you love me. Or hopefully someone loves me. Hopefully. Now you may be thinking to yourself, Mike, you sound different. You sound strange. You sound sexy. That's right, folks. This is my podcasting voice. Now, I didn't work for this voice. I paid thousands of dollars. I owed an alimony to get extensive surgery on my vocal cords. So I'll talk like this in every single episode of the podcast. At no point will I drop this voice. If I drop this voice, my body's gonna drop because I'll kill myself. But I'm not the only one who got any surgery done. See, the thing about this podcast is we can churn out audio-only content. So we can make all kinds of changes to ourselves physically. Now, I didn't. I'm happy with my body. But Clayton, now seeing an opportunity to not be on camera, got extensive plastic surgery. Clayton, I'm looking at you. You look like a fucking meat monster. But go ahead, tell them what you did to yourself.
Well, Mike didn't really give me much of a choice. He made me get a nose enlargement. I asked what the hell that had to do with the podcast. That had nothing at all to do with... He gave me no options. He said, you're going to do this or you're not going to see your dogs again. I
wanted there to be clearer breathing and sniffing on the podcast. And Clayton, go ahead and show them the old sniff. Yeah, that's going to make good content.
I haven't slept well in nights. In Fortnite, even. A fortnight.
You haven't slept well in Fortnite?
I haven't slept well in Fortnite. We can't talk about games.
Ah, shit. Yeah, this is no talking about games or movies or nothing. We're only going to talk about what's really happening in the world right now. The real stuff. Like Clayton's horrific plastic surgery feet.
Well, I thought those came out kind of nice, actually.
They did not. They did. You've been gypped.
I got real small feet now.
Yeah.
You guys like small feet?
You ever seen like a Barbie doll's feet? How they're just kind of like sharp pegs? That's what Clayton has. Only the pegs are his toes. And so it's just kind of like a flat like claw of meat.
I think it's kind of cute.
No, it's not. It's
like real cute foot.
No.
You guys want to see my foot?
You didn't before, and you definitely do not have one now.
It's not what you were saying before that.
You're putting words in my mouth now. And I'll put a gun in your mouth if you keep talking. Good cover.
Oh.
Something else that we can present to you only in this... sorry, let me back that up. Something else that's great about this being an audio-only form is that we can be completely comfortable with what we're wearing. We don't need costumes. We don't need makeup. We don't need anything. We don't even need lighting. The lights are off right now. But if I turn them on, we could see that... Clayton, why are you naked?
Because you told me it was like...
You keep saying I'm doing these things, and I've got no... Now, I remember the nose surgery, and I definitely locked the door, but I did not tell you to take your clothes off.
You did. You told me right before we started.
That's not true.
You told me. You demanded, actually.
This bit's going into territories the boss does not like. We're gonna swerve back on that one. No, just put like, I've got towels in the bathroom. Can you put a towel on?
No.
Why?
You told me if I put it...
I didn't tell you anything!
If you give me a towel, I'll put a towel on.
Okay.
You sit on my lap, you can sit on my lap.
I'm not gonna sit... You're naked, I'm not sitting on your lap.
Wow.
Even if you were clothed, I wouldn't sit on your lap.
Wow.
Why is that wow? Why are you shaming me?
Wow. Okay. Just get on. Get on with the podcast.
Okay. All right. I'm glad you're in charge now. This podcast is going to be over. I mean, we're barely going to make it through this first episode, folks, because I swear to God, either Clayton's going to kill me or I'm going to kill Clayton. Tension is high here today. I would say it's because he's naked, but I did lock him in this room. So, kind of 50-50 blame.
You also turned off all the AC. It's real warm.
I wanted people to hear us sweating. They don't get to hear that on the streams or the skits. It's like a nice deep frying effect. Like bacon cooking. That's what I wanted the people to hear.
I feel very uncomfortable.
You're the one who's naked! The thing about having a new audio-only show is that, theoretically, and hypothetically, we can go anywhere. And nobody at home can say that we're not. You've got no proof that we're not in the jungle right now. Ooh, look at the monkeys. Look at that monkey over there. Whoa. Uh-oh.
Those are the gnome monkeys.
Oh, the gnome monkeys. Wow.
They're getting mad.
We gotta go. We could go to the moon and nobody could say we're not there.
Clayton, this is Mike podcasting from the moon. How's it going on the space station? Over. Yeah, I turned off oxygen to the space station. Well, how the fuck am I getting back to Earth?
We could go like in the magic school bus. That's what this is. It's the magic school bus. We could go inside a person's body. Here we are. There's the chromosomes. There's the blood flowing. Wow.
I always wanted to get Vord.
I'm giving that an appropriate amount of time so that our editor can cut your Vor joke. I do not want any Vor jokes making it into the final product. Thank you. All these things and more we can do only because of a podcast. Only because we're coming to you audio only. And that's what's exciting. Because this week we had a crazy adventure in the jungle and the moon. And now we're coming back to talk to you more. But maybe next week, we'll die on the moon. And that's what's exciting. You never know what we're going to do because we don't know what we're going to do. And that's exciting. This isn't me pushing marketing buzzwords on you. This is exciting. Let's take a word from our sponsor. Clayton, have you ever slept on a mattress before?
I try to.
And how does that go for you?
It's fine, I guess.
You see, I have a friend who was in a terrible car accident and couldn't use any of his appendages. But every night he'd go to sleep on a Mark's Big Mattress Warehouse mattress. And after 14 years, he got feeling back in one toe. Now, if that isn't a miracle, I don't know what is. So head on down to East Richmond, Virginia, and pick up a nice mattress from Mark's Big Mattress Warehouse and tell him the Fudge Boys sent you. Please. Alright, and we're back from the ad read. That was fun. Great stories there. We're going to go ahead. We're going to answer some burning fan questions because I think that's what they do on podcasts. Clayton, have you ever listened to a podcast before? This isn't one of the fan questions. I just want to know.
I listened to like one time. The one time I went to a gym.
Yeah.
I threw on a podcast. Realized it wasn't really my thing. The like working out part.
Yeah.
So I don't listen to podcasts anymore.
Makes sense, naturally. I also can't say I'm much of a podcast connoisseur. I don't know why I laughed there. I guess there's a joke. Try and find the joke there. But, you know, it's kind of like driving a bus, right? If you know what you're doing, you're more likely to mess up. So if you get behind the bus blind, drunk, and without your license, chances of you doing something really cool while driving that bus is probably pretty high. So, we don't know what we're doing with a podcast, but maybe we'll do some cool shit. Who knows?
Maybe.
No guarantees. And no refunds. But we do know, or at least we assume, and we all know assumptions are just facts, that are going to get disproved by stupid people, that podcasts take fan questions. So we've got kind of a selection of fan questions here. I put out on Twitter we needed some fan questions, and we got hit up with a couple. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to read off some fan questions. We're going to have some fun answering them. I'm going to read these fan questions, and there's going to be answers to those fan questions that I will be reading because they are fan questions that I'm going to read.
I zoned. The past like 5 minutes, I've not even.
Your eyes have been completely glazed over. I think from the start.
I've just completely. We're here doing the podcast. We're doing some fan.
Questions. The word's questions.
Right.
So the first fan question is, why is Clayton the best? Clayton, go ahead and answer that one. You do it.
Well, actually, I was so I already know why I'm the best. It'd be kind of narcissistic if I just got up here and talked about.
No judgment zone. Go ahead and share.
You know, I got the bigger nose. Thanks, Mike, for funding that. I got the nicer feet. You know, I'm the of course, the more noble.
No, what do you mean by the more noble? I'm interested in that one.
Hey, I'm the one answering questions here.
Oh, sorry. I won't interrupt. Sorry, sorry, folks. This is the segment of the podcast called the Clayton Hour. He's going to take the next 3 hours to answer this question. Go ahead.
Yeah, so actually, you just want to go ahead and turn around to where the.
Yeah, I won't even look at you. Yeah, I'll plug my ears too.
So of course I'm the funnier one, better looking, the taller. You guys can't really tell, but I'm like a little taller than Mike, so that's kind of it's like a couple points in my field. I'm the younger one, so I got baby face points. I'm the louder one. I can talk louder than he can. I have more socks. I have more socks than he does.
You done yet?
Well, in the interest of the podcast's integrity, yes, we can cut it there.
All right.
I won't go on about how I'm better than you, sorry. Best, actually. We're going to go ahead on to the next...
Yeah, sorry that I let him bore you folks for, what was that, like 20 minutes? That was a long time, right?
Jeez, not even.
I blacked out, so I don't know. All right, next question on the fan questions list is why make a podcast when everyone else has got one? I'm not going to let Clayton take this one right off the bat. The answer to that is pretty damn simple. We're doing a podcast for two reasons. One, because there's a lot of opportunity for bits we couldn't normally do. And that's, from the creative standpoint, that's exciting. We have about, last time I checked, 16 episodes planned out. And these are bi-weekly. So that's, what's 16 times 2? 32, right?
Something like that.
That's 32 weeks worth of podcasts that we have ready to go. Well, no, we got to record them. But they're ready to be recorded. And that's exciting. We let the dog off the leash and he wrote a lot of shit. So from a creative standpoint, that's why. From a my name's Walt Disney, I have to do business standpoint. Making it a bi-weekly thing means that if we're caught up working on a big skit, there'll at least be something on the main channel that'll go up every other week. Because the stream archives have been moved to the archive channel, and we do the streams, and it's great. And we're actually probably going to end up doing more streams as well. But something needed to go on that main channel so people didn't look at it and go, oh, they haven't uploaded in like 2 months. Oh, that's sad. We want to let people know outside of the streams, we're still out here doing bits and skits. And as much as I love the streams, at times it looks like all we do is stream, and it's like, well, that's not 100% us. It's 33% us. So that's kind of the two sides of the coin of why we're doing the podcast. Clayton, go ahead. You can answer now. I know you wrote a several page essay on this.
So Mike came to me one day and he said that if I didn't do this, I'd be fired.
I don't understand why every bit from Clayton has me threatening him.
That's like the ace in my sleeves.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I have that's
funny. Yeah.
I was just getting in my ear a message from my supervisor. Actually, we're gonna take it to a word from our sponsors.
Oh, another ad read.
Circuit City. You heard of them?
We are sponsored this week by Circuit City. Have you heard of them?
I don't know how much more straight to the point you can get.
It's very good. Yeah, I like their old slogan, Circuit City, please buy. But, it is what it is. Hopefully they'll be around for a lot longer. Well, alright, let's get back into the fan questions. Is there a skit you guys wrote or filmed that you decided against uploading, and why? Yes. There's actually... I'm trying to think if there's more than one. There's for sure one. It was supposed to be a Valentine's Day video this year. And it was going to be we were all like video dating profiles. And we recorded like short messages where we were characters giving like our names and our likes and everything. And parts of it came out really strong. Clayton and I both kind of did what each of us does best separately. Like how we approach improv, where I kind of just throw shit at the wall. I put a cowboy hat on, I do a weird voice, and I just try to see what comes to me. Clayton doesn't go nuts with, he doesn't change his voice, maybe he doesn't change his costume, but he slow burns a character, and it works wonderfully. And he was what really made that video work, I don't remember your character's name. It was like Stan or something. But I was like interviewing you, and it was like all you would talk about. You would I don't know if you remember this, but you'd nervously like talk about sports.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Like it was like, oh yeah, I like sports. I like the one with the ball. Like it was just like he laid down the foundations of this character, and then kind of like slow burnt build it to like it ended with like him like trying to leave, as I was like, you didn't answer any questions. You need to answer the questions. Like, it worked really well. It was funny, and I had a lot of just, like, little small things. But overall, I was not happy with the pacing of the video. Like, the first cut of the video was, like, 9 minutes. And I'm at a point where I know better than that. I know not to release a 9-minute skit of just, like, talking. Like, cut the fat. Just put in the good jokes. And so I wasn't happy with that. And there was a whole, like, UI aspect to it where it was, like, a Windows 95 computer. And that wasn't coming together how I wanted it. Because even though I do the art for the channel and everything, I'm not an artist and I'm not an animator. So it was wonky, and I wasn't happy with it. So we shelved it, but was going to come back to it. And then my computer died. Which, whenever you talk about the history of Fudge Films and what's been lost, the answer is everything's been lost, because I never have a computer that works for more than 6 months. So, that video got tabled, shelved, due to me not being happy with it, even though Clayton had a killer bit, and then due to shitty computers, fell apart. So, that's the only one I can think of, though.
Well, there was some, like, extra footage from one of the videos that we did that I was adamant on uploading, maybe not to YouTube,
yeah.
maybe for, like, like a Patreon extra, right? The video in the bathtub.
You can't find this one because it's unlisted, which we'll talk about that maybe later in this podcast. Maybe give you an update on some stuff. But there's a video where I did an update video in a bathtub while drinking wine. And Clayton, I assume you're talking about the footage of me getting into the tub naked because I had to turn the camera on, set it to record, and then get in the tub. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that footage got deleted, and then the hard drive completely broke. So there is no way to retrieve that footage of my bare ass. So if you want to count that as a lost video, be my guest. Call it the Mike's ass video. Yeah.
Truly a shame.
I don't think so. I reviewed the footage. You're not missing anything.
I didn't get to review the footage.
Well, that's because I'm the editor.
Fair.
Okay. Another question. Any new updates or upcoming projects being filmed? We'll do a general Fudge Films update. We have, like I said, 16 podcasts planned out, 17 skits planned out, and I wrote more last night. The biggest thing with Fudge Films, and I'll say this until the cows come home, the biggest thing that keeps us from making shit is not having the time. I work a full-time job. Clayton pretty much now works a full-time job. Clayton actually works more than me almost. So that's going to change here real soon. I'm firing him is what I'm saying. He shrugged. Clayton shrugging, in case you didn't know, does not come across to the listeners. So the biggest issue we encounter is not having enough time and not having enough people. So there are some skits that I've written where it's like, okay, we can do this, but it's going to take a couple days of filming. And because him and I can only get together once or twice a week, that turns into, weeks and weeks of not getting to film, not getting to work on it, or not getting it done, sorry. Because we are filming it and working on it. So that's, again, back to why we're making the podcast. That's part of the reason the podcast exists. So that there's something there for people to, listen to. Something for people to still enjoy while we take longer than I'd like to get a skit done. So there's 16 podcasts, 17 skits. Streams are still going strong. I don't want to leak any videos. I don't want to say. But there are some ones coming up. A lot of the new ones are going to be short. Like we're talking like a minute, 2 minutes. There are some longer ones in there. Some more classic Fudge Films type stuff. But they're short, but man, are some of them real sweet. So, it's not often I unironically say get excited. But get excited, because there's some good shit coming that I'm really proud of. So,
Hell yeah.
One of them is we are going to live kill, slaughter, and butcher Clayton.
Oh.
That's going to be that's not going to be a podcast. That's going to be a video.
Oh.
I probably should have told you that before we went live, honestly.
Oh.
I probably should have let you know about that one.
Oh.
We got a message from a sponsor. We're going to go to a sponsor plug. We're sponsored this week by Epstein Island. Feel young again. Welcome back from the sponsor plug. Okay. Last fan question.
Let's hear it.
Clayton, I guess you can take this one again. Why is Mike the worst? Go ahead, answer that. Look me in the eyes and answer that.
Well, I mean, I answered the one about me. Why don't you go ahead and answer this one? This was very clearly aimed at you. Why are you the worst?
Let me tell you. Women don't like me.
So I'll go ahead and give off a couple more reasons. He only plays K. Rool in Smash. Oh. That right there, that's it. That's it. That's all I need.
Women and beta cucks like Clayton don't like me. But I'm top dog. I'm the alpha male. Woo! That's my dog bark. Beware. To seriously answer the question, why am I the worst? Because first is the worst.
Wow.
Someone edit in like a ooh. Put that.
Someone just I hope the editor gets this and makes it funny. Mike looks very hurt by
Too real.
I mean, he'll take it and throw in zany sound effects. That makes me laugh, right? You know, like that.
The editor will throw in that one. Too real though. There are times where we're filming and like you're almost always golden, but I'll do a joke and I'll be like, oh, I'll save that one in editing. I'll fix that in editing. It's too being like, I hope the editor makes this funny in editing. Too real. That's how I feel about a lot of videos sometimes. But then I take it into editing and I edit it, and guess what? It's funny. So there we go.
I mean, that's what post is there for.
Yeah.
To make things, like, watchable.
Yeah.
Would you watch Endgame without post?
No.
No, of course not.
Would you watch Endgame without the Nightcore Rainbow Connection that plays Thor into the battle? No. That's a joke that only you and I are going to laugh at, and nobody else is going to get that one. Alright, well that's the fan questions for this episode. I do want to answer one more question. God, I just want to drill it home. Because there's probably a lot of people listening right now and being like, oh, cool, in 2 weeks I'll tune in again, and Mike and Clayton will read some stuff off and answer some fan questions. No, we won't. Next week is going to be a completely different show than what it was this week. Sorry, in 2 weeks. It's going to be different every time. And I don't think you're prepared for what that means until you hear it. So get ready. Because this one might have been a kind of run-of-the-mill podcast. Except for Mike put on a funny voice. Well, I'm dropping the voice, folks. Because I'm telling you now. In 2 weeks, it's going to be different than any other fucking podcast you've ever heard. This was just the introduction. This is the baby pool. This is the dipping your toes in the water. Next week, we're throwing you into the deep end. And you either swim with us or you're drowned, folks. We do have one more sponsor. I probably should have done the sponsor.
Well, put it in the credits. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, this is the credits. That's my credits music. I don't know, dude. Our last sponsor, I'm like going back into that podcast voice now. I can't like break out of it. My voice is stuck in nasal mode. It's like slowly like coming back, but I'm like stuck doing that. Like it started as a Jack Nicholson, like it started as like, hey there folks, it's your buddy Jack. And then slowly changed into like something more normal. And then now I'm like trying to do my normal voice, and I can feel it in my nose. It's still there. Clayton and I had a lengthy discussion about where voices come from, and I'm pretty sure he thinks that I'm like slightly schizophrenic after it, because I was talking about peacocking and like how I change my voice to appear in different audiences, and I'm pretty sure that's shit like a serial killer says. But it makes sense for me, and I promise I didn't mean to kill those women. Anyway, our final sponsor is ourselves. Hey, we're Fudge Films. I'm Mike. That's Clayton.
He pointed at me.
I did. If you liked this, which thank you so much if you fucking do, because this has been on my mind for months. Hit the subscribe button. Because there's going to be more of these podcasts. A shit ton more of these podcasts. A shit ton more of skits. We've got streams over on twitch.tv/fudge_films. We stream at least once a week, every Friday, for our show Encore, where we wind down the week and jump into the weekend with a game and some good laughs. We try and do a couple other streams a week, usually about 1 or 2. I'm working on actually doing that, because I keep saying it and then I'm not doing it. But I did a solo stream last week. okay. I do at least one solo stream a week. I don't need to beat myself up. And then we've got Encore. So follow us on Twitch. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe to our archive channel to catch the VODs of the streams. And follow me on Twitter at NoBrainerMike for any Fudge Films related updates. Because Lord knows this podcast is not going to be the place to catch Fudge Films news. It's honestly, you probably got a better bet catching news on the streams, but you sure got the best bet on Twitter. So if you want to know what we're doing, where we're doing, how we're doing, and how we're doing it, it's kind of like a sex thing. Follow me on Twitter. That's our last sponsor. Do you have anything else you wanted to say?
Not really. This whole podcast, I've been sitting, I'm like a foot away from the computer, and I have been very tempted to push that big square power button.
I would kick your ass so hard. I cannot. If we were 2 minutes in, yeah, that'd be funny. I'd be pissed, but that'd be funny. 40 minutes in, you do that, and I'd throw you out the fucking window. I guess I understand why you say I always threaten you, because I just threatened you. Which, I'm going to make good on that, because here's how we're ending the podcast. Say goodnight, Clayton.
Gee. Oh, gee, Rich.
Final words. Epic.
Well, that's all for now. Remember to subscribe and follow us on Twitter. And remember, peace and love.